Gather round, friends, new and old, and welcome to the Campfire Collective. We are your hosts, David, Jenny, and Philip. Yes!
Ooh.
Yes! Yes!
Wow.
I am excited for this episode.
That is a lot of excitement,
It's
Philip.
Sunday today. Relax.
It is palpable. It is in the air. It is riveting. It is ripping through me. Guys, I have been waiting for this episode. I feel vindicated on this episode. I didn't even believe in myself in this episode, but damn it, here we are. God bless it.
All right.
Bless it.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. How
Yes,
are
we
you
will.
guys?
Doing well. It's been a very
Exhausted.
busy gig week for me. I've had a lot of gigs happen the last couple of days.
Giggity,
We're
giggity.
recording giggity, exactly. So I don't know if I said this on the podcast before. I own a puppet that I purchased from the theater I work at, and I took her and performed at a drag cabaret a couple of days ago.
Wow.
We did a number from the movie Burlesque. We did Cher's song, You Haven't Seen the Last of Me. And I pulled out a little adequate Cher impression to make
An
it more of
adequate
a
one.
variety. Yeah, adequate.
Don't you let her subvert your expectations, David. You've heard Jenny's Cher impressions. It is stellar.
I
Stellar.
haven't heard this.
Oh, my friend, Jenny. Just give him a sample, just a
no.
morsel, please,
I'm
on
not
this
warmed
early.
up for this right now. Okay.
Just something, darling.
Okay. You haven't seen the last of me. You haven't seen the last of me.
I present to
There
you
you
evidence,
go.
David. I present to you evidence.
I like
It's
it
a
so
work
much.
in progress.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
That 10 seconds is all I needed to hear to know that it is a wonderful, more than adequate
Yes. more.
impression of
It's
Cher.
definitely
Very
fun.
good, Jenny.
It was well received at the bar we performed at. I
I'm
had
sure it
people
was,
pull out their phones.
cabaret
They
show in
turned on
Vegas,
their, very Terry Fader of me.
So when you do this puppetry, are you like behind something and it's only the puppet visible, or are you more like
Well,
ventriloquating?
we do a bit of an illusion of that nature. So we have a policy where we I've been trained to have the puppet be the focus when I'm with her. So I dress in an outfit of all black. I also
Okay, gotcha.
wear a hoodie that covers my face. So people aren't watching my face. They're focusing on the puppet performing. There
Are you
is a bit
then
of illusion
mic'd
of that.
under the hood?
Usually we are at the theater. I didn't have that ability at the bar. We had a mic in front of me, and I just sang into the microphone on a mic stand. I couldn't. Usually we would hold one, but because I had a puppet in my hand, I couldn't exactly balance two at once. I need both my hands to control her. So we made it work.
Right.
But it was a
Right.
hit. Everybody loves Siren. That's her name. So
Siren. Okay, well that is so much fun. But what about you, Philip?
I am exhausted. I am running on 0 hours of sleep. I am still up from the previous night. I worked all night, and then I went straight and took my happy little ass and played some poker. Guys, if there was ever a reason why I shouldn't be unenthused on being here, it's not because of poker. God, I love it. So, and I had a friend come in from out of town, so we celebrated with the game together. It's quite nice. And it's something I look forward to all week. So I'm great. I'm ecstatic. David, any tidbits, any morsels from you?
yes.
No, I mean the weather is turning a little bit, slightly warmer. Still
Mhm.
miserable. Don't worry. But that's all. I mean, that's all. I was able to wear my leather jacket again. That was nice. It was nice that because it's not warm enough for the real cold. So now that it's like slightly warmer, I can wear it, and I love my leather jacket. It's great.
All right. Well, speaking of something comfortable we all like to get into, let's head to the.
Oh, God, no, stop.
There's a lot happening here.
I just meant like a movie. I just meant the movie. Nothing. Oh wow. Oh
Philip,
wow.
you are literally everything, everywhere, all at once. Hey!
Well, as you probably figured out from that, we are reviewing a movie called Something Somewhere Sometime Next Week. Is that right?
No, David,
No?
it's actually a little film. You might have heard of it, especially having seen the Oscars, you naughty boy. It's the movie that won and was nominated the most, 11 nominations total. And it was nominated for a couple biggies: Best Costume Design. We got Best Original Score. We got Best Original Song, which was a poor performance, if you ask me. My God.
Yeah, that was what was that?
I don't know what the hell that
I don't even
was.
remember which performance, which.
It was the only one where they were performing with hot
I
dog
remember
fingers.
the one Rihanna, for the Black Panther. I remember the RRR because it's unmissable, unforgettable. And
It
that's
was the
about it.
performance where they were massively out of tune and had great choreography surrounding
Oh
them.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, completely. Yeah, and like off key and just horrible. Like that one. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that really sucked. Now I do remember.
Yeah, it was really
Yes.
disappointing. I'm a huge fan of Sunlux, so I loved hearing their music again live. But I don't know what was going on. They just sounded like they weren't rehearsed at all. Like something wasn't right.
That was
Something.
mucho bado. That was not good.
Winner.
All right.
Winner for Best Film Editing. Winner for Best Original Screenplay. Nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And the only reason why she didn't win was because the winner, Jamie Lee Curtis, nominated Best Supporting Actress.
I'm sorry. Did you say the only reason she didn't win?
Well, because one of them, they had. If one wins, the other one cannot win because one already
Yeah,
won.
but that's not the only reason she didn't win.
Oh, my semantics, my dear friend, semantics.
Okay.
Ke Kwan for Best Supporting Actor, winner right there. Michelle Yeoh for Best Actress, winner. Ha ha ha. The Daniels for Best Director, winner. And last but certainly not least, Best Picture, winner to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Ah. My goodness, I am exhausted from it all. So, David, give us the shimmy. Give us the lowdown. For those who have been living under a rock that holds no existentialism, what is this film about?
Well, hold on. I have thoughts about these awards. I have thoughts
go
about
ahead.
these
So
awards.
do I.
Okay, so contrary to what some people might think based on the way I talked about this when we did our Oscar preview, I actually had no problem with this winning Best Picture. I didn't really have a problem with it winning Best Director. Each of the individual actor wins, no problem. But I have a real problem that it won all of the above. Was it that good? I don't know. Was the acting in this movie so much better than any of the other movies that 3 of the 4 acting awards were to go to this movie? I just don't think so. So that kind of irked me. I was like, like movies like Banshees and Tar not winning any awards at the Oscars shocked me, and I thought that was really unfortunate. Like Everything Everywhere, so wholly unique, winning Best Picture. You know what? I'm okay with that, and in fact, I think it's great, deserved. Maybe not my favorite, maybe not the best, but still like just a wow movie.
Mm-hmm.
But winning so many awards, like winning 3 of the 4 acting awards. And it couldn't have possibly won the 4th because there was no leading actor in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I was like, come on, there's other movies with acting that was more impressive to me. Anyway.
Well, on that topic, I obviously can't speak on the other films and I can't compare, but in specifically with the wins that they had for the actors, I was okay with Michelle and Ke Kwan's wins. After watching the film, I was like, okay, this makes sense to me that they got the awards.
Me too. Especially
But
Key.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis, but what do you guys think? She gave an Oscar-winning worthy performance?
I just don't think it was an Oscar-worthy role.
No, I didn't understand it when I finished.
I had no problem with her performance. It was just the role itself. Yeah.
Yeah, compared to like Stephanie Sue's role, the size, what was required of her, it just didn't make sense to me that the award was given to Jamie and not Stephanie. That's just me though.
I preferred either Hung Chow from The Whale or Carrie Condon from Banshees of Inisherin for that award. But
really?
That's not the point. Yeah. I'm not mad about that. What did frustrate me watching the Oscars was how much we had to listen to the Daniels. Because no Oscar,
they went through their entire speech. They went through everything that they possibly could have forgotten. They were able to make back later on.
90% of Oscar speeches are pretty boring and dull, and we could basically just want to forget them. So they did that the first time, and then the second time they came up and like it was just more nonsense. And then the third time they came up, I was like, okay, guys, stop. Just don't say anything. You've already talked twice. When the producer was there, he was talking, he was doing his thank you. I was like, okay, cool. And then they walked up and I'm like, no, go back. You're done. You've had enough. We've had enough of you. Just go back. You won your award. Be happy. Go party. Anyway, all right, now let's get to the movie. I have a summary for you. This was an incredibly difficult movie to summarize, but here we go. In the midst of a tax audit and planning a special Chinese New Year party at her laundromat, Evelyn is visited by another universe's version of her own husband, Waymond. This alternate Waymond warns Evelyn of a multiversal, destructive being who is coming for her. Evelyn must learn to access the multiverse and the many versions of herself in order to fight off a score of otherworldly attackers with familiar faces. A string of stunning visuals, outrageous fight sequences, and wacky moments across many universes brings Evelyn to the discovery that the enemy, Jobu Tupaki, is actually the multiversal macrocosmic version of her own daughter, Joy. A destructive force looms large in the form of a multiversal black hole in the shape of a giant everything bagel. In order to stop Jobu Tupaki from destroying the multiverse and herself with it, Evelyn must come to truly understand her frustrated daughter, starved of acceptance, and crucially, Joy must come to understand Evelyn. Does Evelyn need to reach out, or does she need to let go?
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent summary.
Pretty good, sir. Pretty good, sir. I dare say not enough Elvis and Pig, but it's all right. It's all right. Outside of that, I think it was pretty...
I mean, how long did you want the summary to be?
No,
I said
no,
wacky.
no.
Wacky covered all that.
Wacky does encompass a fair amount. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go through the notes here quickly and thoroughly, though.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, upon the rewatch, I think that there's such a difference. Obviously, in any movie you go through and you rewatch it, you're going to find details that are different. And of course, this is no exception to that rule. But really stands out from a second time watching it, knowing at least the full rules of the multiverse, knowing how you're going to expand and where it's going to go. What really struck out on the second and third and fourth rewatch for me that didn't necessarily just blaze out the first time was the family. The family unit itself is so strong, and it's so at front, and it's such a strong supporting cast that not only makes you feel complete chemistry between not one, not two, not three, but four.
You mean, can I clarify?
Players.
Do you mean that the family theme was very strong, or
no, the family dynamics?
Family dynamics, yes, because when you say the family unit was strong, I would say this was a very fractured.
No. You're right. No. I'm just saying you felt.
Just wanted to clarify.
You felt the chemistry. Intimately between each unit, how they felt to each other, and yet it was completely. It felt as if it had history. It felt like it had rich context, and it's so strong that you are so invested in how he relates to her, how she relates to him, and all this stuff. And they're such at the forefront that a weakness that while I do understand your guys' qualms on winning the entirety, maybe Jamie Lee Curtis, I think another reason why Stephanie perhaps should have deserved the win over just within the same film, why over, is because of just how deep, how rich you all needed to be in order to have a true investment, because you fail to be invested in any one unit, even the freaking grandpa, Gong Gong. If you don't buy into his character and who he is, the rest of the film just falls. It fails. It fails flatly, and this movie demands so much buy-in, because if you do not buy in to both the premise and the family, movie's dead. Movie's dead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree that that's any more true of this movie than other movies. But it is. It's a true statement. I don't think that there was weak performances anywhere in the film. I thought the acting was tremendous. Yeah, I just had some qualms about it winning everything, everything that it could have in terms of acting.
I did love the amount of detail that came with this movie. Every single universe was fully, the aesthetic, the details were fully fleshed out, even the ones that we only got to see 2 seconds of. But I felt like and you could probably agree with me on this, I think the film was just a little too long for what it
Yeah, it
was.
was a touch long. It was a touch, like, I would have shaved off 10 minutes. I don't think it needed to lose any more than that.
They could have,
Like, you get movies
yeah.
that are like 45 minutes too long. You're like, this was just way too long, offensively long. This was like maybe a touch too long, but it didn't bother me too much.
It
But
just,
for me,
yeah,
yeah, go on.
it could have easily been shaved at least 10 minutes. There are so many people they kind of had to revisit from the Alpha universe to show how Evelyn would be able to battle and disarm every single one. I feel like they could have at least cut 2 to 3 of those Alphaverse fighters and showing those explanations to give us that 10 minutes back. I just think, yeah,
Yeah,
it there could have been a little bit of shaving down, but again, I don't know what was cut
there was
originally.
towards the end of the movie. There's a lot of montaging.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of we jump from universe to universe to universe, which was cool. But that was an area where I was like, the movie starts to drag a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But that being said, I appreciate just how ridiculous the movie was ready to be in just about every way. And one thing I want to highlight from a technical perspective is the cinematography, the camera angles chosen,
Yes.
the way that they focus in on characters, the way that they show perspective. It's awesome, and it was so creative, and it's immersive. The way you're right in there, like face to face. The camera is literally, I'm like literally covering my mouth. So that's why my microphone. But like the camera's like face to face with your
Michelle
actors at
Yeoh.
times, and
Yeah, you're watching
and
Michelle
it just brings
Yeoh,
you
and
right in,
and right to the right of her in a mirror is Kenway Kwan, and it's framed beautifully because it's everything
oh
that you
yeah,
need.
such cool
Vivid
camera work
storytelling.
and cinematography. It's awesome, and then fight choreography, so
Yeah,
much
guys,
fun.
let's
So
get
much
into
fun.
Yes.
that.
I mean,
That was
this is a
awesome.
movie, like, it's a movie to be enjoyed. That's the thing. So I mean, you get recent Oscar movies that are kind of a drag, but this one is a movie to be enjoyed, and like, and it's easy.
And you know what it is? I think that it's so easy is such a beautiful way to phrase it, David, because when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I was excited for many things, and I was very excited for the film itself. I don't know that I was excited to go and enjoy fight choreography. I don't think I don't recall having that even as a thought or how it was advertised. But my God, this movie and having such an expansive and outrageous reach just in how many genres it touches and where it goes, because it really does branch out into so much, and it covers so much. It's so ambitious. But to say that it not only covers fighting, which is not only just required, it's necessary for this film to be successful. It does it so well, and their storytelling, it's choreographed so well. Just going in, the choreography is so expansive, and it tells a lot, and it advances the story, which I think not a lot of fight choreography that we see in mainstream movies, blockbuster movies, does that anymore. Like, it's just to serve a purpose of like, oh, here's a fight scene. No. In here, we're going to get a fight scene that helps you to figure out, oh, this is her way of figuring out how to jump because now she can take a knee and she actually can do this cool thing. Or, we're going to go and take a fight scene. And yes, it's going to be over the essence of a butt plug. And that's going to be a crucial thing. That's going to be the complete thing that we're aiming for. I mean, it's insane and incredible how well they were able to do and how many facets of storytelling they were able to accomplish just through the fight choreography. And that's when you know it's good. Is that when you said you would cut out 10 minutes, David, when you said, Jenny, that you would cut out some things, it was never about the fight choreography. You said it was maybe some of the
No.
people themselves, but not the fight choreography itself.
Like, for me, is the montagey bit, like, where it's sort of flashing between universes. Some of that felt a little indulgent and unnecessary, a little redundant. But then again, like, when I say shave off 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes. It was fine. It was fine. It really wasn't that bad. That was my opinion. Jenny, maybe you thought it needed to lose more. But
No, I mean there were certain things that I was like, maybe there could be 1 or 2 of these scenarios they could have cut. But that's so nitpicky. I still enjoyed all of this movie. My only regret is I didn't see this in the movie theater. Did it ever get released into the movie theaters, or was it just on
Yeah,
streaming?
for sure.
Okay, then I must have just missed
I didn't
it.
see it in the theaters either, though, because I knew that there was going to be a lot of Mandarin in the movie, and here the subtitles would have been in Dutch. So
I think
Oh,
understand.
got it.
I think an incredible note is that the day of the Oscars was an exact year away from when the movie originally released. If David
How about
recalls
that?
this, because when I first saw this, I recommended it to David immediately. I said, David, go see it. And when anytime I could tell anybody to go see this film, my number one qualm was like, I think I would find it hard to believe that anything will ever touch this for the entirety of the year. But I do not believe that it will make the Oscar run that it deserves, because it came so early in the season. Not even early. It came right at the the end of the previous Oscar run season. I didn't think it could last a year's long wait and still be viable or nearly as successful as it ended up being. It's incredible that it came out a year ago from the Oscars to date. Guys, so continuing on with the idea, it's hard to find anything to nitpick. It's hard to find anything to truly critique.
Yes.
And it sounds like we haven't been able to accomplish that. Really, you will find it hard to find me anything to really critique on this. So maybe perhaps if nobody has anything negative, how about we each go on something that we highlighted, something that we love, something that we take away with this film, maybe our best memory of this film. David, when thinking back on this film, whenever you're thinking back on like, oh yeah, on all the Oscar winners, maybe a scene, maybe a performance, maybe an action sequence. What is going to most stay with you?
For me, it's not really. I enjoyed the references that it made. I get this is not the highlight of the movie. This is not what stuck with me the most. This is just what I'm thinking of now because I haven't mentioned it. The pop culture references that it makes. First of all, to Ratatouille, and then that becomes Raccacoonie, and then that becomes a crucial part of the movie. I love that, and Raccacoonie, so funny. Like to just twist that idea from Ratatouille and make it a raccoon, which is even more ridiculous. Love that. Mm-hmm. Love that it was like very puppet-like, the raccoon itself, and they didn't try to make it hyper realistic or anything like that.
Super
Love
aside,
that.
David, immediately, what animal would you like control you? If not a rat, if not a raccoon, what animal's up there pulling the strings, pulling the fibers of your hair that you're allowing to? Go.
Yeah, you want me to think of something quickly? I can't. I mean, okay, maybe.
I know my answer.
Is it an otter?
Maybe.
You want something wet on your head?
He'd be dry.
I think I would go with.
What about a bird? I feel like you'd be dignified with like a little
God,
owl up there.
Disgusting.
That'd be awful, though. Their
Birds,
claws
I hate
would
birds.
dig right into your skull.
I hate birds. Birds suck. Anyone who has a bird as a pet, I'm like, why? Why? They make noise and shit. That's what they do. They're slightly pretty to look at. All they are noisy and they shit everywhere. That's what it's like to have a bird as a pet. No, I hate birds.
That's a very strong opinion, David.
Yeah, birds are for the wild. Okay? If I was gonna have something in my hair, I wouldn't want something too big. At most, I don't know. Raccoon actually kind of sounds like fun. But maybe some kind of large rodent. Oh, meerkat. A meerkat?
Oh, good choice.
Maybe. All right, let's just go with that and move on. All right, so pop culture references. That one was so funny. Loved it. Loved the way they did that. And it was okay. Like I was saying, it was okay that it wasn't hyper realistic. Like it was just a puppet raccoon. And then there's this like little moment where Key's character Waymond is talking to Evelyn, and he's talking about like what it's like or something. I can't even remember the context exactly. He's talking about what it's like to make the jump or when you like aren't careful about the way you jump between universes. And he's like, your clothes never wear the same, like clothes never wear
it's when he's describing
quite the same way.
The impending doom of the everything
right.
bagel.
Oh yeah, that's right. So he's like, your clothes never wear as well the next day. Your hair never falls in quite the same way. And I'm like, wait a second. That's the lyrics to that song. This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. Like I'm like, and they just like casually threw that in there as a line of dialogue. It's so obviously,
chaotic.
if you don't know the song, you'd never know. But if you know the song, you're like, wait a second. They just took the lyrics from that song. So funny. Love that as well. I suppose if I was to have a criticism, which isn't even my criticism, I've heard some people criticizing this movie for not really having, like, the message is fairly simple in the end. Like the underarching sort of point is quite a simplistic mother-daughter, like, acceptance versus like understanding, love,
But there's so much
affection.
complexity leading up to that.
It's a lot of complexity, but at the end of the
Definitely.
day, that's what it leads to. It is fairly simple. I did like that it was a little layered, though, because at first, and this is mad spoilers, at first, it's like, why won't you let me go, Mom? And then she does. She lets her go. But then she's like, wait a second. And she goes after her. It's like, no, hold on a second. Like, this is a two-way street. I know I'm fucking up, but so are you, you know? And then they find a way to connect and finally understand each other, and I thought that was awesome. So it wasn't really a problem that I had with the movie. I actually thought the movie did really well with that.
Jenny, what's the highlight when you think back on this film? What will stay with you? Will it just be the everything bagel that you will yearn to try and get a taste and fry for breakfast, or will it be
You
something
mean
else?
what I had for breakfast this morning in honor of the movie?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously the performances, everybody did a stellar job. And it doesn't even matter in terms of like level at that point. I thought every single person in this movie delivered a fantastic performance. But what's now burned forever into my mind is the film's editing. The sequence when Evelyn is getting, what's the best way to describe this? It's just that sequence, all of her being in all these different universes coming together, and there's just this flashing of her between each universe. It's like a 30-second sequence of all of these different images coming all together, and she's just this center point in these images. That moment made me go, yes! Yes! While watching it, because it just was so visually interesting. There was so much to absorb. I was just tickled. It was fantastic. And then I did quite enjoy the wardrobe and makeup that was used for Jobu Tupaki. I loved seeing the chaos. I was excited to see which outfits were going to show up next on her. So it was a fun moment of anticipation, I guess, that I got to have for the movie with that.
Excellent point.
And after doing some research, there's been some fun acting things that I've learned. You know how sometimes actors like to reference animals when they're researching or developing their characters, especially if they have multiple? I did see something about Ke Huy Quan where for his characters, there are 3 specific Waymond alternates. There was the CEO Waymond, the one that we see in the movie star universe. There was the laundromat Waymond, and there's the Alpha Waymond. Apparently, when he was creating the differences between these characters, he labeled them as different animals. And it's very clear after watching the film which ones are which. So apparently, for you guys to know, he was inspired by a squirrel for Laundromat Waymond. He was inspired by an eagle for Alpha Waymond, and he was inspired by a fox for CEO Waymond. So that was cool.
I love that. That's so cool.
Reflecting.
It does show. It shows.
On the variations, those come right through, and I really liked that. So those are the main things.
If you've gone to like actually studied acting, like it's even more like, yeah, awesome. That's such great character work. Yeah, love that.
And I'm going to piggyback off of that, Jenny, because for me, my highlight, when I look back on this film, this takes nothing away from Evelyn. It is her story, but the family unit, as I've told about earlier, is so strong that it feels like Evelyn is the main character by a smidge, by just a little bit, because everybody else gets so much. And for me, when I think back on this film, I'm actually going to think more about Waymond, and maybe that's just what I identify. I think it's they're very strong, identifiable characters for multiple people to empathize with and to have as resembles. So maybe that's me. But for Waymond, I not only just the performance, which is absolutely tremendous, and almost would say individualistic to Ke Huy Quan, for where you needed him, because in the way that he completely shatters what masculinity not only is but can be, and how somebody can solve problems in such a different way, and how you can combat things, and just how everything how he works in the background almost, but yet it's so important upon a rewatch to where if you are just focused on what he's doing, if you take a look and say, hey, Alpha Wayman does it one way, and at first you think it's all great, and then slowly as we go through the film you see the flaws in that, and you see the ways that just completely delineates and how it actually is counterproductive to the ultimate goal that everybody is fighting towards. And you needed somebody like that to be soft, to completely buy into that monologue of like, guys, why don't we stop fighting? Like, can't we think of a different way? Let's stop the violence and all this stuff, because that could be so cliche, that could be so wrong. But because of the writing, because of the allowance of how he's allowed to go in the background and such strong character work in not only multiverses of that character, but also within the actor itself, it's just such a strong character that when you see him, I think the best performances are when you're given what Russell Crowe did in Gladiator, where he says he thought that his monologue in that essentially won him the Oscar, he thought was absolutely terrible, was absolute trash. And it's whenever you're given those cheesy monologues that you otherwise, when you're reading it, you're like, this is just awful. But when you watch them, they work and they fit so eloquently because of the performance, because of the character and everything else. I think that for me is what I take away, is Wayman as a character, as a performance, as just everything in that. So, guys, last notes, any little thing you want to get off your chest about this?
No, let's move on to the trivia.
I do want to give us one quick special shout out to
Please.
Jenny Slate and Harry Shum Jr. It was so fun to see them pop up in this movie. For those who don't know, Jenny Slate was the actress who played
Marcel
the woman
the
with
Shell.
the fluffy dog. Yes, that was Marcel the Shell. It was kind of little A24 cameo Easter egg. And then the Harry Shum Jr. was a part of the original Glee cast. So seeing his face pop up in that universe was such a fun moment. And also his character was so much fun. He was the Linguini of the Rakakuni universe. So shout out to Harry and Jenny.
All right. Jenny, take it away for Jenny Trivia.
Whoa, here we go. So I had such a blast looking for trivia for this movie. There's so many interesting things that came with the development and afterward of this. So let me go ahead. Let me just break it down for you. So during production, did you know the working movie title for this movie was A Woman Tries to Do Her Taxes? Very general and literal at the same time.
I like that they changed it. That does actually make me think of, you know, the bits, the part 1 everywhere, everything, part 2 everywhere, part 3 all at once. I don't think that worked.
No,
that's the one thing that I'm like, you guys should have just that there were no clear chapters there. Yeah, no.
Agreed around the table, yes.
So, did you know that the everything bagel and the googly eyes are the yin and yang of this movie? They both represent conflicting morals. So, according to Joy's character, the everything bagel is supposed to represent life being meaningless at the center of it all, including love and the need for attachment. So that's the is that the yin or the yang?
I think that's yin.
That's yin.
I think that's yin.
The googly eyes represent yang, so it represents Wayman's wish for everyone to see the bright side of life and focusing on the good things brought with it, hence the googly eyes. So Evelyn's choice to wear the googly eye when she chooses to fight with kindness represents that turning point of her deciding to embrace Wayman's approach to life instead of the everything bagel.
Okay.
Loved that fact.
One more, Jenny.
One more. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, let me pick this one. There is kind of a little foreshadowing that happens at the beginning of the movie, and we get to witness that through the different variations of languages the family communicates with. So, Evelyn speaks to her father in Cantonese, but she speaks to Wayman in Mandarin.
I thought, you know what? Actually, I saw that in the subtitles upon a rewatch, and I it was noteworthy, but I honestly didn't.
So she speaks to who in Cantonese?
Gong Gong.
Gong Gong. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Evelyn speaks to Joy in Mandarin and English, and Joy speaks English and very bad Chinese.
Yeah.
It shows the variation is just meant to set up the fact that the family, how to show how divided the family is, because no one can express their ideas clearly to everybody. Everybody's separate in their own world. And Evelyn is the bridge for every single character. She's the one that can communicate with every single one, and she's feeling and showing that stress of having to balance everything.
All right.
Boom.
Very well
Boom.
done, Jenny.
Great trivia. All right, so my friend Yegor was supposed to join us on this review. He was supposed to join us for Oscar preview, but he couldn't make it. But he did send a question or three questions. I'll just give you one, maybe
Ooh.
two. All right, do you think Everything Everywhere All at Once's unprecedented success across the awards season is indicative of the type of movie and performances that will be successful in the future, or is it more of a one-off? What do you guys think?
I believe, if I may go first, I believe it is something of a one-off. To reciprocate this would feel cheap. Even at the time that it came out, it was close to the MCU's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and it just felt it preceded that, and it felt like Doctor Strange's attempt at Multiverse of Madness, which promised even more than anything you could ever imagine, fell flat. For many reasons, not only just the multiverse elements of it. So I think a lot of attempts to continue that, and heaven forbid, I swear to God, if there's a sequel, I do not want a sequel. I love this film self-encapsulated.
No.
I swear to God, I don't care, Daniels. I don't care how much money they offer you. Leave it alone. Leave it.
Yeah.
Let it die.
I mean, it's A24, so I wouldn't expect a sequel.
I wouldn't expect it,
but I do think.
But I think it's a one-off. That's my
of
answer.
Yegor's question. I think maybe it's like dragged the film industry in a very, very weird direction, and the film industry may or the awards, sort of the Oscar, the Academy area of the film industry might be dragged slightly in that direction, but it'll find some kind of middle ground, probably in a more of a comfort zone for the general public.
I don't think that the story needs to be continued or added on anymore. I think the story's been told, and I think everything was pretty well explained. I don't think there's more information we need to get about verse jumping or the family story or the universe. I think we can easily keep continuing the creativity of thinking of any potential universe, but I don't think we need to see that on a screen. I think the story... I think we're done. I don't think we.
But Jenny, do you think that this is indicative of the way that awards, the Academy will go in the future, or do you think this is more of an anomaly?
That could be depending on as we continue in the future with movies. Part of me wants to say yes, but there's also a part of me that there's been times where award seasons have kind of gone against the envelope, and there's times where they've fallen right back into it. So it's kind of a toss-up. I don't think it will have too much influence, but we never know. We never know.
The Academy is a pendulum. Sometimes they go out of the book, and sometimes they go back in the Green Book. You know, excuse me.
Well, this is You Will Be Missed. Jenny, why don't you go first?
Alrighty. You will be missed, Lance Reddick. Some of my earliest memories from teenhood were watching you on the living room TV with my dad, watching Fringe. Watching you on my TV screen was inspiring for me as a performer, and it brought me so much joy to see how well loved you were. Thanks for being a part of my childhood, man. You will be missed.
Obnoxiously big fuzzy dice that sticks on mirrors that my junior high self thought were so cool with downsizing in the home. Comes the need to get rid of some things that were kept in storage, and this swinging bachelor pad has no more need for this gate attraction. So goodbye, black fuzzy dice, and hello, actual style. You will be missed.
That was almost Flack Buzzy.
Flack Buzzy dice.
Buzzy dice. You will be missed, Guinness. This past weekend, we had St. Patrick's Day at our bars, and man, it was like this huge festival. And for one day out of the year, we had Guinness on tap, and now it is gone. Guinness, you will be missed. The game section is brought to you today by Sassy Mama's Sales. Want to get a blast from the past with a fine vintage item? Or maybe need a new blender or other household items? Go to eBay and search Sassy Mama's Sales, located within the eBay stores page for all the greatest finds you'll want for every occasion. Sassy Mama's Sales, all one word, all your shopping in one stop.
Now it is time for this episode's game, very on theme for the main subject today. But before we begin, we have a special guest who's going to be playing with us today. You've heard him mentioned several times by me on the podcast.
So special, this guest.
Yes, he's very special to me, especially. Well, introducing my boyfriend, Sean Putnam. Hi, Sean. Hi, babe.
Hello, everyone.
Yay.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Now,
We've never had a significant other on the podcast
really?
before.
Is this the
Oh,
first
really?
time? Is this a milestone?
Yeah, it's the first time because Phil and I have been single as for a long time.
It is true. It is very true.
For those who are we're going to see some clips potentially from this episode. You might see another special guest, Sean's cat Romy, roaming around in the back. He's
a little inside baseball where Jenny and I are in the same place right now in different rooms, and our son Romy is really amped up this morning. So he's in what we call
demon mode. Yes,
he will to let Jenny have some peace, but that might mean now he'll be up in my lap and walking across my keyboard and all that sort of stuff.
So he'll be
ready for that.
There might be a surprise appearance. Yes.
Well, Sean, we before we go to Jenny's game, we have some questions to get to know you a little bit because Phil and I have never met you before this moment, and the listener certainly doesn't know you, or maybe they do. I don't know. So I'll go first. If you were in the woods, face to face with a bear, what family member would you want with you to fight off said bear?
I guess my brother, because not that this would help, but if you got to pick somebody, my brother knows karate.
Is he fodder?
Yeah.
Is he somebody to put in front of you? Is he
maybe.
shield?
Maybe like his karate will distract the bear. Like he'll do like a kata or whatever, and then I'll run and then be like, well, good luck, let me know how it goes.
You stand a better chance than I do. Yeah. I'm getting out of here.
I didn't know Timmy knew karate.
Yeah, he doesn't keep up on it very much, but yes, he does.
Okay, so basically you're inviting your yellow belt brother to come face a bear with you?
Well, to be fair, I didn't create the situation. I'm just responding to it. So you got to do what you got to do if you face a bear.
They were all bad options, David. It was just the one who has the lightest of a chance is being brought forth as his champion.
I don't want to feed my mom to a bear. That would be horrible. So.
All right, poor Timmy. God.
I suppose I shall go next, and forgive me, Sean, for morphing this question into a question that actually gets us to know a little bit more about Jenny. I apologize, but I am absolutely curious. What is a failsafe to where if for whatever reason you need to make Jenny happy, what could you provide, Sean, that would accomplish that?
Pictures of otters.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God! It never ends.
It was organic. I love it.
Also, is quite fond of otters, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean, that works for me too, baby. You can come here for a smooch anytime you want. Let's go.
All right, I have a bunch of them saved in my phone for when I need them, so I got the hookup.
Do you actually have a folder? Oh my God!
I swear to God, you ever send them to Jenny, you send them to me as well. I don't care if we're in a group chat. I don't care what it is. You don't even need to explain why you're sending it. It's blessed material. I swear.
Yeah, it's never bad news when you get a picture of an otter.
Yeah.
All right. I've got one question for you, babe. I actually know the answer to this already, but I thought it'd be fun to ask you for the listeners to know. What is your go-to song at karaoke?
I don't really. Okay, so this is. I think you might have an unfair perspective on this. I don't really do karaoke very often, but the couple of times that I've done it, the songs that I have typically done are. Jenny got to see me do "My Way" by Frank Sinatra the other night.
Mm-hmm. It was wonderful.
And how did you sing it? He sang it his way.
I sang it like Frank Sinatra, basically. Yeah, tried to do his voice. The other one, which is not nearly as good of a performance, I think, but it's just fun to do. I like to do "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal from the Batman
Wow.
Forever
Excellent
soundtrack.
choice. Oh.
That's not quite in my range, but I like to, if everybody's drunk, it doesn't matter. So,
Baby!
actually, I was doing it with a friend one time, like because we were both at a karaoke bar and we were both kind of drunk, and so we were singing it together. And then
Did
he
you get the
bailed me.
badayadas or did you get the badayada?
I think we were trading off on those. But I remember the thing I specifically remember about that is when it gets to the part where Seal's like, "My power, my pleasure, my pain." My friend bailed on me at that part, and I was like, "Oh, dude, you left me hanging at like the best part."
Excellent choices. Excellent choices. Because a lot of people for karaoke make a grave mistake and don't realize that half the battle for a karaoke song is that it has to be, everybody has to know it. That's like half the battle. The other half is that it just has to not be, it can't be bad. Like it can't be a joke. Like you can't do as two guys, dude, "My Heart Will Go On." Because that's funny for like 3 seconds. But then to go for the entirety
song goes
rest of
on
the
Yeah,
song.
you got to finish the song. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I was about to disagree with you, Phil, but then you made a good point. Like it has to be good for the whole song.
Yes,
So-
exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
Unless you're gonna do a full act out, like what's the word?
Come out
Like
in costume,
full like choreography for that song. Maybe then it's acceptable, but otherwise no.
You better be the best damn air guitarist I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I better believe that there's something being strummed right there. Ah.
All right. Well, thank you for answering all those awesome questions, Sean. Let's get into
You're
the game,
welcome.
shall we? Now, since our main topic for today has been everything, everywhere, all at once, I thought it'd be fun to do a little multiple choice trivia game in honor of the subject. So I've put together some multiple choice questions. I will read the questions to you per question, and I will recite the answers that I have selected. That could be the potential correct answer, and it's your job to pick which one is the right one. Are you ready, Sean?
I am. So do we buzz in by like hitting the raise hand button, or?
Oh, to buzz in, just yell your name.
Oh, so is it first to
So
answer, or do
it
we
is
all
first
get a
answer
chance?
then?
Oh, how about
we-
we'll switch things up? We'll have everybody answer. We'll go
Everybody
down the
answers.
line. We'll
Okay,
answer.
that's
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Take it in
Okay.
turns going first, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will. I'll try my best to rotate through so it's even, so everybody gets an equal chance. So let's do this. All right, question number 1: everything, everywhere, multiple choice. All right, at the laundromat, what holiday is Evelyn throwing a party for? Is it A, Tax Day? Is it B, Chinese New Year? Is it C, first day of spring? Or is it D, Gong Gong's birthday? Philip, how about you go first?
Oh, it is. Ooh, gonna go B as in Buttercup.
So B is in Chinese New Year?
Yes, ma'am.
The Buttercup holiday. All right, David, how about you?
I am also gonna go with B, Chinese New Year.
Okie dokie. And Sean?
I'm gonna go with D. Gong Gong. I assume Gong Gong is the grandpa, right?
Yes, he's the
Yeah,
grandpa.
I think it's his birthday.
Okay.
Oh, we don't know this. All three hosts have seen it. Sean, you've at least seen the film, yes?
Yes, I've seen. It's been a while, but I have seen it 2 times. So I feel,
Okay, just wanted to make sure before we keep going on this,
yeah.
and then it's like
Don't
me
worry.
and David
I
have a
double-
complete unfair advantage here. Okay.
No, don't worry. I double checked that he had seen
I
the
will
movie,
be.
so
I'll be
he's
basing
fine.
all my
Yeah.
answers off of the Banshees of Inisherin, if that's okay.
What would Colin Farrell answer here? Yes.
All right. Well,
Jenny the
correct-
donkey. Or what was it? What was the donkey's name?
I think Jenny
guess
is.
it wasn't- wasn't
I think
it Jenny?
Wait, is it really? I still haven't
think-
seen Banshees, so.
I think it
Yeah.
is, and that's going to be a compliment, Jenny. That is not.
Oh.
It is, too.
David's
Wait
not
till you
making
see
you
it.
to be
The
a
star of the
jackass or
film.
anything. Yes.
Yeah, no.
I'll have to see the movie to see
Yeah,
what the
she's
Yes.
how she
stolen
plays in
audience
the
hearts.
story. Oh,
Yes.
yay! That makes me happy to hear. All right, so the correct answer is Chinese New Year. Both
Yeah.
Philip and David get the point.
I had to throw
yeah.
Sean off because
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh,
I saw that,
yeah.
Phil. I saw that. Oh goodness, what was it
Sure.
again?
You can't seem too sure when you guess, so it'll throw everyone else's guesses out.
I'm gonna go with the stone
right.
cold lock of B rather. All right. Anyways, here we go.
All right, question 2. What outfit and animal combination did Jobu Tupaki have with her when she stepped out of the elevator in the IRS building? Is it A, sweatshirt and a pet dog? B, rainbow teddy bear outfit with a pet parrot? C, an Elvis outfit and with a pet pig? Or D, a golfing outfit and a pet raccoon? How about David? You go first.
Now this is genuine. Like I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Right. A couple of those do sound familiar.
But
So
yeah,
very good
like
job. Very good options.
I was
Sid.
very tempted by A, but I think I'm gonna go with. No, sorry, I was tempted by B, and I'm gonna go with C. I'm gonna go with C. Well, C
You're gonna
was
go
the
with
Elvis.
Elvis
what was-
outfit and a pet pig.
Yes, that's the one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about Sean? What's your answer?
I will go with that as well. I think Elvis outfit and pet pig.
Okay, Philip?
I too vote Elvis for Austin Butler. I mean, yes, the pig.
All right. Well, all three of you are correct. It was a unanimous win for that one. When she steps out of the elevator in the IRS building as Evelyn and Waymond are getting arrested, she is wearing an Elvis outfit, Las Vegas style, with a pink wig, and she has a pet pig on a leash because she is chaotic. Okay, so for this next one, it's kind of a fill in the blank. So I'm going to give you, I'll read the sentence first, and then I will give you the options of what could be potentially in that missing portion of the sentence. So this is something that Evelyn says to Waymond in the janitor's closet. She says, very busy today, no time to blank blank. So the options we have are A, no time to help you, B, no time to save you, C, no time to go now, or D, no time to listen more. I'll read them again one more time.
Ooh.
So she says, as the quote is, very busy today, no time to blank blank. Option A, help you. B, save you. C, go now. D, listen more. Sean, do you want to go first?
Sure. This is a hard multiple choice game. I feel like I'm
Listen, I
testing.
couldn't make them all easy, okay? I had to have a little bit of level of difficulty here.
Yeah, especially since Phil and I both watched
I feel
this
like I'm
recently.
testing to get like a bachelor's degree in this movie. I'm gonna go with no time to help you is my guess. I think that was A.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Philip?
I too must state the obvious that this is actually legitimate in my consternation. I ended up on A as well, but it's not a stone cold lock for me. I do have some worry.
Should I return to you to double check and to lock in your answer?
No, it's locked. It's locked, but it's not it's not guaranteed in my mind.
Okay. All right, David?
I was again tempted by listen more, whatever it was, but A, help you, I'm pretty sure is the right answer.
Okay. And well, I tried to make that a difficult one, but you guys all got it right. So it's very busy today. No time to help you. And this is her in the janitor's closet trying to get away from Waymond because she's very focused on the
getting her
IRS
taxes
meeting.
paid.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So this one this next question, I tried to make it more difficult. So what is the very first jumping pad that we get to see in the film? The very first one. Is it A, eating chapstick, B, declaring your love to someone, C, wearing your shoes on the wrong feet, or D, juggling while singing Ave Maria? Philip, we're back at your first in the rotation once again. What's your answer?
Right. And with the current scores, me and David tied at 3 with Sean right nipping at our heels there at 2. I'm going to go with... Ave Maria one's close. I will go with A eating chapstick.
David, what say you?
I'm going to differ from Phil. One of us is going to take the lead here, or potentially not, but maybe. Shoes on the wrong feet.
Okay.
I'm going to go with eating chapstick. I have a pretty high level of confidence in that answer.
Okay, well, I appreciate your confidence, Sean, but David is the winner in this question.
Yeah.
I knew it!
It's wearing your shoes on the wrong feet. Now, it's not, at this point, it's not very clear to us because we as the audience are still trying to understand what's happening. But the very first jumping pad that we see in the movie is Evelyn switching her shoes to be on the wrong feet. This is her jumping pad so she can jump into the janitor's closet universe.
Oh,
All right.
okay. So eating chapstick is when Wayman like beats up all the security guards.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
At that point, it's a very clear moment in the movie, so it's very easy to remember. But yes, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. So wearing your shoes is the actual real one. So final question. Excuse me.
And David will lead us.
Right now, it is 4-3 to 2.
David is currently in the lead. The final question is: the directors of the film are known as the Daniels. What are their last names? Is it A, Daniel Schneider and Daniel Kwang? B, Daniel Hong and Daniel Bernstein? C, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert? Or D, Daniel Boone and Daniel Kim?
David goes first on this one.
Yes, go ahead. Oh, there you go. Go ahead, David.
It's C.
It's C? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm leaning towards A, but I'm going to go with C.
Okay.
So, since David's doing so well.
Okay, Philip, what say you?
You can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, game strategy would demand that I go elsewhere. However, knowing the answer, I must too go with C. It is a stone cold guarantee. C is the way to go.
Okay, well, you're all correct. It's Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert.
Wasn't Daniel Boone the guy who he
from the Alamo, I think.
trekked through the Appalachian Mountains or something?
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun for one of the options to pick well-known Daniel names. So Daniel Boone and Daniel Kim. I did try to. Yeah, exactly. I almost put Daniel Day-Lewis, but that would have been too obvious.
Right.
All right. Well, David, you are currently the winner of this game. Congratulations. Now, do you guys, for fun, want to try the tiebreaker?
Absolutely. Hit us with it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. So, how many universes in this movie can you name in 7 seconds? I've got a list here. And I'll set a timer. Actually, let's do 7 seconds.
Name? They all have names?
Well, just like
describe.
There's not like official names, but if you try to
okay.
describe as many as possible.
In how many seconds?
7.
Jesus.
Do you want me to increase the time?
I don't know.
No, I think that's fine. I think that's
7
fine.
seconds.
Do the others take off their headphones?
Yes, actually, please. Go ahead. Who would like to go first? There is no...
David, since you won, why don't you go first?
Since I won, I'll go first.
Okay. Sean and Philip, please remove your headphones.
All right.
All right. I've got the timer ready to go right here.
All right.
Go.
The Sausage Fingers, there's the Alphaverse, then there's when she's a movie star, and then there's the one where she's a chef, a sushi chef or whatever.
Yep. Okay, that's 4. You got it. It's in the timer. You got 4. All right. Thank you, David. I'll have Sean go next. I probably should have given you more time, but at this point...
I think it works.
There's a clear winner, so I'm not really as stressed to make it more like... Anyway, all right, Sean, are you ready?
Okay.
Go.
She's a movie star. The Rocks with the Googly Eyes. Hot Dog Fingers. Rakakuni. Base like universe where all the resistance starts.
That one doesn't count. That doesn't count. You also got 4. Okay. At 7 seconds. All right, that's a tie with the tiebreaker. All right, Philip. Come on, Philip. Philip. Bloop, 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 bloop.
That very easally could have been the sauce, whatever the hot dog fingers.
I was summoning you with my hot dog fingers.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
When you're ready. Yeah.
Go.
Hot dog, Rakakuni, artistic rocks, pinky fingers.
Okay, stop, cease. Everybody tied at 4. I think it was.
What did you say? What did you say
Pinky
before
fingers?
rocks?
artistic one, the one
artistic?
Yeah, you know when she's going through the different phases and they show any of the editing things where she's like in a 2D world and it's like night.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Oh yes, the animated universe.
Yeah.
Okay, we all tied at 4, so I'm glad it didn't go to the
It
tiebreaker.
was a tie of a tiebreaker.
It was a tie.
What's the Pinky universe?
Oh,
One where she has
you're
like
super strong,
like a bicep on her pinky.
Oh yeah, all right, I remember that now.
I didn't have that one on my list actually. So this is the list that I had for a potential reference. Hot Dog Fingers universe, Rock universe, Pinata universe, Rakakuni universe,
Pinatas.
Karate universe, Alpha universe, Pizza Spinning universe, Opera Singer universe, Maid
pizza.
universe, and the animated universe. So
And our universe, surely.
there's the laundromat
Yeah.
universe. Yeah.
I guess that would have worked too. I didn't think of that one. All right.
Well,
Well,
that was awesome. Thanks so much for playing. David, congratulations. You have won this game. Sean,
Well done.
thank you so much for joining us
Thank
on
you for
this
having me.
multiple choice fantastic realness. I lost my train of thought. Thank you, babe. I love you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys.
and with that win, David ties it up with a win apiece between me and him. Bring it on, buddy.
All right, we've headed into one of my personal favorite segments, That Slaps, where we each bring in something to share from our week that really just made us excited, it had us it was inspirational, just made us just fully enjoy. So, my selection for once is a movie. I keep bringing in music, but I
Whoa.
finally have a film. It's a horror film. This is a film from 2014 called Starry Eyes. So, let me just do a brief synopsis. This is about a hopeful young starlet that uncovers the ominous origins of the Hollywood elite and enters into a deadly agreement in exchange for fame and fortune. Now, the acting in this movie, sublime. I enjoyed every single second of the lead actress's performance. And the horror elements of this, I wasn't sure about it at first because it took a long time to get into that portion of the movie. But once it started, it was great. Everything was super practical, very violent, actually. So if demonic horror is not your cup of tea, you probably should skip this one. But if you don't mind it, would highly recommend it. It's worth a watch. Starry Eyes, that movie slaps.
Yeah, I've got a song, and it's also a little bit of a throwback. I've been recently. I'm creating a playlist. What is with me today? A playlist.
Playlist.
I don't know, man.
And
Join the
Black
Flack Buzzy
Buzzy.
Socks.
What is it's a disease. I don't know. We're all infected. I am making a playlist called Millennial Youth Nostalgia,
Ooh.
and it's all like punk pop rock from the early 2000s.
Oh.
And Fall Out Boy,
Yes!
the song This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race, slaps. That song slaps.
Yeah.
So I know it's not a recent song. Probably you've heard it before. Maybe. I don't know. If you haven't or if you have, I don't care. Go check it out. That song slaps.
Yes, it does. Guys, I have a movie to add to our list.
Ooh,
It's
two
taken
movies.
over. Yes, it's taken over a year to get this one on here. But I'll be damned if we're not going to be having it on the list. Guys, how could we have a whole damn episode about a review about this film, my favorite film of the year, possibly my favorite film of the decade? I've already added it, haven't I?
It's just already been slapped. Okay, you slapped this like a year
Can
ago.
I double slap that, baby?
No,
There's
Can
no
I
double
double
slaps.
there is
Come
no
on.
double slapping.
I want to double slap everything.
I remember
Everywhere, all
when
I want to
when
double
I-
slap everything everywhere.
when I hosted.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, great. When I hosted with David Sampson when you were on vacation, Philip,
Yeah.
he tried to say that the movie Will Smith's movie from last year
Yeah.
that he won Best Actor for. He tried to do a whole joke about how it slaps,
Yeah.
and he thought he was so clever. And I was like, "Sorry, buddy, I already said that slaps a couple weeks ago, so you got to pick something
On
different."
this topic, I believe when I say I actually own a cutout of Will Smith that has his arm folded so you can slap people with it. I
good.
had that with me when I was watching the Oscars, and I was slapping there every time somebody won just for fun. So Anyway,
right.
I'll do a show until next week. You guys will see it.
Fantastic. All right, guys, if I can't do that one, then let me just add a quick one. It'll be a game. It's a game where online that I just bought. It's called Godlike Burger. It's where you cook up burgers. You take orders from everybody. The twist, the key, and why it's so fun is that you then turn the customers into the meat for the burger. Hello, Mrs. Lovett. Hello, Mrs. Lovett. We love it.
Is this the first time a game has been on That Slaps?
No,
Second
it's
time.
not.
Second time.
In fact, the last time was when I told David Sampson he had to pick something different, and he picked a game.
Oh, fun!
That's
Nice.
That's a trend
minds,
now.
Yeah, like minds think alike. Woo woo. It has been an expansive and ambitious episode, but we have done it. We have accomplished. We have nearly climbed that Mount Everest. However, there was one last little slide to get down and endeavor.
Yes, thank you to Jake Corlang and Casson Crossland for the music you hear on the show. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks to Ryan Ardell.
And thanks to Josh Hans for all the audio bits that you've heard throughout the show.
And thank you to you, the listener. Yes, you listening right now. We appreciate you listening, giving us your patronage for listening each and every week. And even if you haven't listened to our past episodes in the past, go ahead, give them a listen. They're timeless, each and every one of them. Go ahead and give them a listen. We enjoy them. We hope you enjoy them. There's more than 100 now back there to go back and listen to, you lucky duck, you. So please do listen to them anywhere that you find your podcasts, whether that's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, even Google Podcasts, anywhere you find all of your favorite podcasts, except for Pandora. You know why? Because screw you, Pandora.
All right, Evelyn, you have to make another jump to a nearby universe. What you gotta do is, you gotta let the bear eat you.